One of the biggest signs that you're healing isn't that your life suddenly becomes perfect. It's that the things that you used to chase no longer appeals to you. The conversations that once entertained you now drains you. The relationships that you used to fight to keep now feel misaligned. The chaos that you once called normal now feels heavy. And that's not because you become difficult. It's because you've become discerning. Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of the Pretty Aligned Podcast, the space where we shift perspectives, reframe the way we think, and step into alignment with who we're truly meant to be. I'm your host, Octavia Darling, and every week we'll have real conversations that helps you reset your mindset, overcome limiting beliefs, and create a life that feels good from the inside out. So grab your coffee, tea, your journal, or just your open mind and get ready to receive. Let's get into it. The more you heal, the less you entertain. The growth changes your tolerance. And that is why it is so important for you to pay attention to what no longer feels good. Let's talk about it. This could look like gossip. You know that one friend that always calls you just to talk about everyone else's business? You gotta let that go. Or family drama. For some reason, there's always something going on in the family, and when it doesn't even involve you, people still want to notify you. Or maybe those inconsistent relationships, romantic and platonic, the ones where as soon as you share something with the other person that bothers you or doesn't align with you, they take it personally. Y'all fall off, y'all get back on. Or it could just be the environment that you're in. The energy in that environment is very negative, it's very depleting. It does not support the version of yourself that you've become. See, healing doesn't make you judgmental. It makes you aware of the things that you need to let go of, aware of the things that cannot come with you in the next season. So if you're feeling uncomfortable, that may be a sign that you've outgrown what once was normal. Now, it's time for you to raise your standards without apologizing. If there's one thing that I'm so proud that I've developed over the years is an unapologetic attitude and mindset. I'm not going to apologize for my standards being high. I am not going to apologize for setting boundaries and standing on business. I am not going to apologize for disassociating myself with people, places, and things that do not support the highest version that I've become. Your standards should reflect your healing, not your fears. So yeah, put some respect on my name. Check yourself when I come in your presence, because if you are vibrating at a frequency that I don't align with, I'm out of there. Unapologetically. If you are still operating from a limiting mindset, unapologetically, I'm out of there. And this is because I love myself enough to protect my peace of mind. I love myself enough to make sure that I'm emotionally safe. I value my self-worth and my consistency. And should nobody be able to pull you back to who you used to be. If something is triggering you, that's just an indication that you still need to heal. Don't avoid it. Face it. Learn from it. Grow from it. Because it's going to keep creeping up until you learn the lesson. The healthier you become, the less that you're willing to negotiate your peace. And when you set those standards, make sure you remember that it's not about being perfect. It's about alignment. And then what you want to do is start trusting your discernment, right? Some people say it's discernment. Some people say it's intuition. It's that gut feeling. It's that first thought that comes to mind. It's that deep knowing when something isn't right. Trust that. The more you heal, the more your intuition strengthens. So listen to your instincts. Trust those red flags because they're not appearing for no reason. You know that, and I know that. Keep saying no, and say no with a period at the end. Stop explaining yourself every single time you want to say no to something that you don't want to do or that you don't want to be a part of. Say no and put a period at the end, because that's how you continue to protect your energy. What you don't want to do is have regrets, right? You don't want to be the person that wish you spoke up for yourself. You don't want to be the person that wish that you stood on business. You don't want to be the person that wish that you kept your word. You want to be the person that did it. You want to be the person that everyone knows, oh, you know what? When I come around Octavia, I need to make sure that I'm good over here. Because she can not only sense my energy, but she can also tell if I'm coming over there with ill intentions. I need to make sure that I am together before I step in her presence. You know what? When it comes to Octavia, let me not bring my limiting beliefs over here every single time. Or let me not project that onto her, right? Let me not discourage her from what she's working towards, all because my ceiling is at a different height than hers. Let me not put my fears, my self-sabotaging mindset, let me not put that on her, because it's not for her to carry. That's why you have to be very mindful of how you carry yourself, how you show up in public, because you're setting the tone for how people can treat you. If you're the type of person that goes back on your word, you don't follow through on your promises, or you make excuses for why you can't do something, or you talk yourself out of doing the thing that's going to push you forward, you're teaching people how to treat you. So the very thing that you need to heal from, you keep attracting it. So now let's shift our mindset. Peace is more valuable than familiarity. You may experience fear of change because you've never been there before. You've never been in that new element. It's different for you. It feels different. You're thinking different. You're talking different. You're carrying yourself differently. So it may feel uncomfortable, but it's necessary. And in every situation, always choose alignment, because just because something is familiar doesn't mean that it's healthy. And then recognize that healing is going to change your standards. You'll have more self-respect for yourself. You'll become more emotionally mature. Your confidence is going to boost, and you're going to live more intentionally. Because at the end of the day, the more that you heal, the less that you chase, entertain, tolerate, and explain. Now let's get into these relatable scenarios. Let's first talk about the relationships that keep repeating the same cycle. One where you keep giving chance after chance, but nothing is actually changing. Listen, speaking from experience, healing will teach you that love without accountability is just not enough. Now, what about the people that constantly needs validation? The old version of you would do things for the approval from others, but this new version of you is confident in the decisions that you make. You validate yourself. You're not seeking approval from anyone else but yourself. The inner confidence that you've developed reduces the need for outside validation. And then the last relatable scenario, which I briefly mentioned earlier, saying no without explanation will change your life. See, there's going to be people who's going to take it personally. There's going to be people who's going to constantly seek an explanation. But I just want this to remind you that you are not required to explain. Your no is a complete sentence. The more that your self-worth grows throughout your healing journey, you'll recognize that it will be easier for you to set boundaries. Take notes, because these are some points that I want you to always remember. Healing naturally changes your standards. Discernment grows with emotional maturity. Boundaries become easier when you trust yourself. You don't have to justify every decision that protects your peace. And growth often shows up in what you no longer entertain. So I have a few questions for you that I want you to reflect on. What no longer aligns with the person that I'm becoming? Where have my standards changed over the past year? Am I holding on to something simply because it's familiar? What have I stopped entertaining as I've healed? Where is my intuition asking me to pay closer attention? What boundary would honor my peace this week? So the actionable step that I want you to take this week is to make a list of 3 things that you've outgrown, and then ask yourself, what am I making room for by letting these go? Speaking from experience, one of the clearest signs that you're healing isn't that you're becoming colder. It's that you're becoming clearer. You're more clear about what you value, and you're clear about what no longer belongs in the life that you're intentionally building. Thank you for hanging out with me today on the Pretty Aligned podcast. I hope that something in this episode gave you a fresh perspective or a new way to see yourself. Remember, small shifts create big change. If you love today's conversation, don't forget to share it with a friend who needs it, and make sure that you're subscribed so that you don't miss the next reset. Until then, keep aligning, keep growing, and keep becoming the best version of you. I'll see you in the next episode.